Alright, welcome back. This is actually our third time trying to do this video.
The phone keeps shutting off. Might be the entities. We don't know.
Yeah. It might be just my phone is going to crap. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, today's video is about internal communication with the system, tips about the communication.
I don't think it's possible for me not to yawn during a YouTube video. Sorry. Anyway.
But anyways, one of the tips I know is using something, rather if it's a notebook, if you have Discord, video log or whatnot, is basically using some form of a diary per se to have communication with your internal parts.
You can also use these things.
Yep, post as notes. Some ways are more expensive than others, but anyways, but yeah, leaving yourself notes saying, hey, blah 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 blah. When you're out next, can you go grocery shopping for us? If you know names or whatnot. It's also a way that people have used using the notes diary or whatnot. Is also a way where people have come to the realization that they may have D.I.D. Because they'll find notebooks that other people have used, or other parts, as to say. And it's like, hey, I didn't write this, and then they can kind of come to the realization, hey, I'm not alone. Doesn't happen for everybody.
It's just one way to communicate.
Yep.
The point on that one is to listen internally, to communicate externally and internally, to help with the internal to external and external to internal communication, and to get a better grasp of each other. The next point to be made is, I have it written down here so I don't forget, because I will forget. Don't deny one another, practice radical acceptance. So what I mean in this is, it is very common, and it has been very common in my own system, to hear from another alter and then kind of just blatantly deny them. Either deny them as a part, deny them as an alter, or to deny what they're saying because it is disagreed with or not liked. And that isn't helpful. That isn't going to benefit you. If anything, that may scare that part away further back. It may redissociate them further away from you. So instead, we recommend that radical acceptance, in which even if you don't agree with something someone else is saying, even if they have a distasteful opinion or whatever, go with something more along the lines of, okay, I can recognize that you are experiencing it this way, that you feel this way about it. Let's talk about that. Let's figure out where that comes from, why you feel this way, and if we can come to a compromise. That's going to be important. It is so important to find compromise with each other, where there may not be. That's going to help a ton with communication, and it validates you. It validates them. It is so important to validate one another, to strengthen that communication, and to allow for the bonds of a communication, because that's scary. That's vulnerable. And to, even if you don't agree, even if something someone says may make you angry, don't just throw it away. Say, okay, I hear you. What can we do about this next? Work with each other. The third point to be made there is make connections to bridge the gaps. So this goes hand in hand with that second point. If you already have a connection with a single part and a single alter, excuse me, whichever term is more comfortable for you, and you know that they know so-and-so, but you don't know so-and-so, you don't have communication with so-and-so, but you have communication with who's it and what's it, right? You can ask, and who's it and what's it knows so and so. You can potentially say, hey, can you pass this message along? It also kind of works along with the notebook method and things of that nature. You can ask them to pass the communication along, not the method. Let's say you want to ask them a question. What do you like to eat? Okay, I can't talk directly to so-and-so, but I can talk to who's it. So I'm going to ask who's it. Can you ask so-and-so for me and tell me, reiterate it back to me, what does so-and-so like to eat? They can then go inside, further back, wherever it is that you're unable to communicate and connect to them in, talk to them, and bring that information back to you. That may help to bridge that gap, or it may even help to start a communication between the two parts, and to start to form that bond, to benefit towards communication. We do this all the time within our own system, because we can't just communicate with every single part that there is. It's not going to happen. So there's just too many of us in our case, and there's too many dissociative blocks and barriers. And so we get around that by asking other parts who know each other to communicate on our behalf and trade and share information on our behalf for everyone's benefit. Yeah. Those are my tips.
But yeah, just like having a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband, wife, a relationship. Outside, communication is key. Same as having a job, communication is key also there. Internally, communication is key. Because without any type of communication,
you're in the dark.
You can't heal. At least for D.I.D. wise, you can't get past the trauma. Or whatever the reason is why you have D.I.D.
And that's not to say that everyone has to be able to communicate with everyone. But parts need to be able to process their trauma and process what created them if they choose to want to integrate. And even if they don't choose to want to integrate, or to merge rather, because integration ultimately means that co-communication, that co-consciousness. Even if that's the only form of integration you're trying to go towards. I forgot what I was saying.
Not a problem, but I did come up with something when she was talking. Some parts and alters they literally can't speak. They're mute.
Fuck you. Sorry.
Gotta love Tourette's at times. But anyways, yeah, some might be mute.
There's a potato in my left ear.
Some might be deaf. Be a potato in the left ear. But getting back to some parts might only speak in a certain way, using sign language, speak in a different language altogether. So you gotta find that way, hence the hey, I can't speak to them, but you can you translate? Finding that translator or the person to relay messages comes into play.
Absolutely.
If not, you'd be sitting there going back and forth through Google Translate this.
Which is a method that can be used as well.
Yes. Externally and internally, I guess.
If you have that kind of ability to co-front, for instance, or even just leave a note, have them leave a note later, translate it, leave a note back.
The old pen pal method type of deal, or old phone method, yeah.
Yep. which can be a bit more effective than trying to play telephone with one another, so that messages don't get crossed and confused, because of course just like anyone out here, you can run into the issue where if you have too many alters trying to relay a single message, that message may accidentally, without bad intention, get a little skewed.
Get misinterpreted. Um,
That can happen, and that can get a little awkward.
yeah. Externally and internally for you.
It can cause arguments sometimes, which, you want to avoid if you can. You want to avoid arguments and work towards happy cohabitation within your body and your brain.
And communication also helps with daily planning.
Hi.
Like I might tell one part or ask one part, hey, you want to go shopping on Saturday? Go to the mall, or go fishing or camping or this or that. But some other part has other plans that they've already made with someone else, not me, per se. And they don't relay the message, and now there's a schedule conflict. Because they had plans to go hang out with this person. Yeah. But anyways, I don't think of any other tips or what.
Internal communication. Other ways to build internal communication would be... I'm trying to listen to if anyone else has any pointers for me that I have not thought of. I'm sure there's going to be like 5 new points that I could have brought up as soon as he stops the recording. But,
Usually what happens.
Yep.
Damn it, I should talk about this.
Yeah. Listen. Don't deny one another. Create notes or other methods of stuff externally to help with the internal. And when you are able to, when it is safe for you to, work on looking through your inner world, assuming you have one available to search through. And it may be tiny, it may be nothing, it may be a whole universe, depending on who you are and what your experiences were and what your brain needed to create to keep you safe and to keep you alive during the trauma that created you. The brain has an amazing method to protect us, and that's something we have to accept as well. That's something that we also should not try to deny, even if it is frightening or different or seems weird or wacky or wild. Don't deny yourself the freedom to be, to exist, even if it's embarrassing. And you don't have to share that with anyone else but yourself, unless you feel safe and ready and wanting to do that. It's all about your safety.
Oh yeah.
And it's all about building your own comfort for yourself, not for anyone else, but you and your alters and your head and your body. Yeah, I mean, that's I suppose a point that I could have brought up more distinctly is work on your own safety, externally as well as internally. The more safety that you have available to you, the better of a situation that you're in, the easier it is going to be for you to get through to yourself and to open up to yourself in your mind, and to get through the layers of dissociation and eventually start working on healing from your trauma. I think that's what I've got to say. Yeah.
Well, one thing about kind of the healing on your trauma.
Yeah.
Make sure you find a therapist or someone, preferably a therapist.
A professional.
Professional. That you 100% trust. If there's a little doubt, try to find someone else.
If you don't feel safe,
Yep.
and you don't feel that you can communicate after, that doesn't mean that you need to trust them entirely right away. That's not necessarily safe either, okay? It's about finding someone that you can build that rapport with, that you feel a sense of safety with, that you know that, okay, maybe I can't share this yet. Maybe this makes me uncomfortable. But over time, maybe I will work towards communicating this. Let me see how I feel about them. And if you build that trust and that communication with that professional who is meant to deal with yourself and your needs, then yeah, use them as your tool. They are there as your support system to assist you in getting better, in healing, in expanding yourself. So use them as your support system. Let them help you help yourself. Yeah.
Alright, well, I apologize for the little bit of a long video this time around. But again, any comments, concerns, ideas for future videos,
Questions?
yep, any questions related to either, hell, you can ask me something, you can ask her something, you can ask both of us, don't matter. But yeah, hit the like button if you like it, and we'll try to get another video out here soon. Who knows, I might have someone else be joining us every now and then, potentially. I'll bring it up if they want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later. Bye.